we're back. We're going through and doing some pre-game stuff, which include getting all the powers, getting all the skills, and getting the quick stone is the most important part of this. So that's what we're gonna do. So what I want to do is I want to go to Sryth for a few things here. So we're gonna travel. I think we gotta go to southeast, then we gotta go central. That's what Sryth is. No, okay. Is it western? Yeah, Sryth is western then. So we're gonna visit Sryth. Let's go ahead and save, because why not? And then what I want to do is go to the Blade Square. Explore the city, go to Blade Square, explore the buildings flanking the square, and what we want to do is go to Fur and Fletching. Gibbet Crivson is not only the local bower, fletcher and furrower, but also an expert huntsman. The walls of his small shop are adorned with a lifetime's worth of trophies he's collected while hunting the wild of Tisa. His days of hunting now behind him, the grey-bearded Gibbet spends his time making high-quality bows and fetching fine arrows. He also purchases game that is brought to him by other huntsmen to cure meat and prepare hides in the sales of Talinus and Sryth. Gibbet also trains aspiring archers in the art of the bow. Yes, I want to seek learning the bow. Yes, I'll pay 50 gold. Gibbet proves he's an excellent archer. And let's see. How about we go to browse the wares? I've already got a bow, so we're good on that. And then, what do we do when if you haven't got a bow? I make the finest around. I only make one type of bow and all the same size. They're only one size the huntsman need, and that size I make. You do yourself well to seek hunting grounds. I'm not sure how a man like myself in love with the wilds of the world end up in this forsaken city, though I do say that in my later years now the wild places now hold no more intrigue for me. Okay, we're good. Okay, what I want to do is get the quick stone, so we'll do that next. But if it's intrinsic, yeah. Yeah, we gotta go to Rickspin. So, this is evidence known as Rickspin is a small cluttered space that is dilapidated on the inside. As it is out, it is easily discernible with the primary business of this place is, but the proprietor, Rickspin, a thin, grey-haired man, a bit back, is quick to greet you. My name is Rickspin, he said, bowing with some degree of effort. At your service, good lady. What do you say your name was? Yes, a very interesting name. Pray, what can I assist you with? A note of interest soul when I lay eyes on one, says Rickspin. A broad grin spread across the breadth of his face. I have something that may interest you. Have you ever heard of the Quickstone? Yes. Rickspin's eyes narrow and he leads you to a small room at the back of his curious establishment. Then he produces a wood box with 9 clasps and opens it to reveal a small, round, red stone obeyed in a gold coin. A quickstone, he says, grinning. How much blood has been spilled over the years over such a seemingly trivial piece would be an astounding fact, I have no doubt. These is among the rarest of treasures that one could ever hope to possess. You've heard tell of the legendary quickstones, but you were never certain if they truly existed. Yet you are nearly certain that one of them lies within arm's reach. I've had others ask if I would part with it. I don't think could have made an offer for so fine a prize now, unless no. I better still wait, unless you, good lady, would be interested in it. You seem to me a lady of no meager means. You don't mind me saying so. Shall we transact a little business? Yes. Rickspin strokes the lid of his wooden box and eyes you carefully as at least put the appearance of determining a fair price. Being I've heard of you, Allison. Yes, your name indeed knows me. I'll play Straight with you. I'll part with the quicksand for 200 of your adventure tokens. Well, that's a goal, yes. Yes, quite generous for me, I know, but at least I could do it in light of who you are. Sure. I figured a lady of your mind and taste wasn't going to miss out on a prize like this. You would certainly have ruled the day you let this pretty piece slip away. You spin open the latch wood bottle and hand you the quickstone. You'll be in envy of others for that. Now, if I were you, I'd just make every effort to keep quiet about it, if you know what I mean. It must be gruesome, but many a throat can be cut over these little stones. You certainly won't do yourself any favours by flashing about, though I know you've got far more sense than that. Well, thank you so much. Goodbye. Okay. I'm gonna move to the city gates. What I haven't done yet is, didn't I put this away? No. Let's wear it. I can only equip 4 rings. So this gives me 9 and 14. Whispering Wing gives me 3, 2, 3, and 2. Ring of Heroisms gives me 6, 6, and 6 in Spirit. Because of the Spirit, I have to keep that on. Ring of Crimson Wonder gives me Body, Mind, and Spirit. I have to keep that on because it gives me attributes. The Adventurer's Ring gives me luck. So I need that. So I need the Adventurer Ring. I need the Adventure Ring, the Crimson Wonder, and the Ring of Heroism. But this just gives me this, which I would rather have this one actually. So there we go. Still need work on luck and mind. Alright. So what I'm talking about working on is skills that I have currently, which is Arcana, Archery, Diplomacy, Thievery, and unarmed combat. So we can train these up because I have all this experience, right? This is a bit mundane, so if you want to fast forward, feel free. It goes much faster than it used to in the past. I really like that. It used to go so slow. So, shouldn't be too bad. Good. I have specific experience that we use in the game. Yeah, we might as well get to the best ability of everything we have right now. I'm just gonna go to my specific experiences done, because I can't use that anywhere else anyway. Oh, there it goes. 85. Amazing. Skills. I'm a Grandmaster. Very nice. But I don't have specific experience for this. Go here. I need to apply my stored experience. There we go. That area also tells you every skill in magic that you need. Okay, so back out here, got my specific experience now. Need so little in the beginning, it's crazy. So I can get to like 40 without before even 100 experience. Okay, maybe only 30. No, it's 40. Oh god, this is moving so fast, I really appreciate it. Okay, let's don't go back. Oh, that one gets to 86. Skills. Grandmaster, I like it. Diplomacy, now we're talking. Diplomacy will get you far. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. More, but A5 it is. Skills. Let's train with thievery. So after this, we're gonna go get weaponry. And we can get that from the monastery quest. That way it'll give you something in this episode besides me leveling up, huh? 86. Alright, skills. Everything's happening on my face. We got unarmed combat. Get archery. Oh, we can get woodsmanship here and trading as well. Magnificent, incredible, amazing, magnificent, incredible, amazing, magnificent, well done, excellent, amazing, astounding, magnificent. I like that. Okay, got skills, we're doing skills. Okay, let's go powers. And they have necromancy. Wow. Forgot about that. Necromancy is the hardest to get, I think? Not really. Not anymore. If you join the Grey Circle, it's pretty not that bad. So we can get woodsmanship from Borum Locksong. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Alright, let's rest again, and then we can save again. It's been 12 minutes. Alright, so what we want to do here is explore the city. Let's go back to the Blaze Square, visit the buildings. I think we should visit Doom's Hall. The house door's locked. Okay, never mind. Crimson, Teak's Battle Shop, Bread Maker, Rick's Bins. No. There's a Borum Locksong. Go elsewhere. There's the marketplace. Search marketplace. What do we got in here for sale? We got a shield. Oh, we always could use a shovel, I'm sure. And a tinderbox. We already got rope. Never leave home without a shovel. And an RPG. Okay, get back. Continue. Move elsewhere. Well, blaze. Where does one find the woodsman's guy? Woodsmanship guy. Okay. So, I think it's like a random encounter. Quick combat. Oh, we've had a first fight, you guys. We're looking for Borum. Let's subdue, we don't want to kill him. But we're aggressive with it. I've been... Keep doing random encounters. Oh, 5 tools. Okay, near the ruins of Noble, traveling the forest outside of Sryth, you encounter a lone cave goblin. The small humanoid is clad in a suit of leather armor and wears a short sword side. The hilt is crafted out of bone. The cave goblin turns and glares at you, his cool eyes betraying out of contempt for humankind. He draws his blade. Okay, attack. Okay, combat. Alright, give me the sword. While passing through the grassy clearing deep in the forest in the east Sryth, you startled by a sound of a long, shrill screech from far overhead. Casting your eyes skyward, you behold a small, dark speck circling against a backdrop of grey clouds far above the forest. Your pulse quickens as you realize that the creature on wing at such lofty height is a dust dragon. Even at such a great distance, you sense the circling dragon is scouring the woodlands with its sharp eyes. When you're ready to continue, you may leave the clearing and continue on your way. There's a dragon out there. While moving along a deserted forest and road of Sryth, you encounter a bearded middle-aged man in a horseback travelling in the opposite direction. Upon seeing you, the man smiles and accompanied pats to his long sword. How about a stranger? Sure. I promise to go easy on you, lass. Okay. Aggressive, please. Aggressive. Defensive, aggressive. I win. The bearded swordsman scrambles to his feet and remounts his horse without saying a word. He mumbles what sounds like a congratulatory remark, tips his head and rides off. What? Okay. Okay. Great tunneler. Let's see, with these random encounters, you could say who knows how long. I'm looking for a Borum Loxon. I gotta save him from an attack in a random encounter. Giant ants. Not the ants. Yes, we're thirsty. Water elemental. Curious sight. Protruding from the side of a tall maple is an ornate iron haft of an axe. The blade of an axe is sunk deep into the trunk of a tall hardwood. The apparent end result of a mighty stroke. Despite several strenuous attempts, you're unable to remove the axe from the tree. Wow. It's Excalibur. Anytime now, Borum. I'll go for 10 minutes. Victory! And the numbers at the top will tell you if you reach something you haven't done before. What's a Tarzan? On top, Zarl. Zarl is a malevolent race of semi-human serpents. The lower half of his body is one large snake, while the upper half is outfitted with 2 human-like arms. The broad, flattened head of a Tarzan is that of a giant snake. Tarzans are particularly cruel and wicked, and they often seek to enslave their victims. These cunning creatures have become quite a rarity throughout the realms, as they have long been sought out by humans for destruction. However, recent encounters with the Zarl suggest that they may be a more prevalent threat than is commonly assumed. They're rarely encountered alone, much like Krogari, or able to assume human form for long durations, making them particularly deadly and elusive foe. It's been said that when killed, the Zarl can remain in human guise, thus concealing its true nature even in death. The goal is the enslavement and the destruction of all humankind. Whoa. Is this some kind of weapon? But it doesn't say what it is. Interesting. Giant ants. Come on, don't. Okay, well, walking along the forest road north On North Trithic, you happen upon a pair of merchant wagons in distress. The wagons are in the process of being used by a group of 5 highwaymen. The former occupants of the wagons, 2 men, 2 women, and a small child lying on the ground nearby, their heads and feet bound with rope. Attack. The leaders of the robbers, a gigantic, brutish sort of fellow, box orders to his subordinates as they vigorously labor to load merchant's cargo into their own wagon. You're under attack. Now you're dead. The bodies of the 4 robbers lay entwined about your feet. You step away from the bloody corpses and fix your hardened gaze on the leader of these highwaymen. You need to learn to find your own plunder, fool. He spits and raises a heavy wooden cudgel and strides towards you. A large grip clearly intends to smite you with it. No, he's dead. Step with the lifeless body of the leader of the robbers and immediately tend to 6 bound victims. With their bound sever, the 6 people lift to their feet and thank you for coming to the rescue. Before you leave, one of the men hands you a patch of gold and insists you accept it. You should not only remember the dangers of these roads, he said, and meet you in a shoulder cross, but we shall always remember the selfless bravery of a stranger. You get 9 gold in that pouch. Shoulder cross is a symbolic gesture of general goodwill and decent intent. It is used nearly everywhere throughout the realms and would be somewhat comparable to a handshake. A shoulder cross is formed by each extending his or her right arm from outward until it touches the intended recipient's right shoulder. The recipient then returns the gesture in kind. Shoulder cross. Always for the setting, eh? Okay, is this Borum? Deep in the tangled sections of forest outside Trithic, you happen upon a small footpath winding through the dense overgrowth. You follow the meandering path quite a ways until it emerges from the thick of wood at the edge of the woodland meadow. Suddenly a man's voice rings at you right, and turning in that direction you see a tall, bearded man live in the clearing, pursued closely by 2 grey tunnelers. I think it is. The massive, enraged creatures catch up with the fleeing man at the center of the clearing and set into him with ferocious ferocity. Death to the heathens! The grey tunnelers topple over and strike the ground almost simultaneously. One of them quivers for several seconds before becoming still. The man to whose aid you rush leans on his broad-bladed axe and laughs. What the thing is to have 2 of those on your heels, he says, grinning. You happen along at just the right time, friend. To whom do I have the pleasure of offering my most sincere thanks? You introduce yourself to the man, who smiles and nods. My name is Borum Locksong. I'm Alison. That's what I tell him. He says, walking over to meet you in a shoulder cross. I don't get out of into these wilds like this much anymore, with this leg lame as it is. And I suppose that today would be a fine example of why I'm content to sit in my hole and remember the days passed by the fire. You're about to bid Borum a farewell when you suddenly invite you to return with him to his hall for a meal. You don't go about turning down a good meal, do you, Ellison? He laughs. You should also know that I brew the best ale to be found in these parts. I harvest about the best pale. I don't have divination, but yes, let's go. Borum's woodland hall proves to be the most unique dwelling. Set in the side of a mossy tree-covered slope, the only portion of his home visible from the surrounding forest is a set of heavy wooden doors that comprise the only entrance. Several tall stacks of chopped wood stand on either side of the doors. Borum throws open the doors and ushers you inside, and you step into a long and wide wooden panelled chamber that comprises the entirety of the hall. At the far end, a wild fire roars in the belly of the grand fireplace, casting cozy light off the dark walls that are adorned with many trophies that Borum has apparently collected over the years. You're shown to the table near the fire, and within an hour your host has laid out something of a small feast. When the delicious meal is ended, Borum fetches you a steaming mug of strong pale ale. He then lights a long stone pipe and pushes his feet in the direction of the fire. As he smokes his pipe, occasionally blowing the smoke over his head in a giant white plume, the bearded woodman launches into account of himself. You listen intently as he relates you some of his many adventures, exploit the wilds of the world. Borum tells you that he was once a much honoured soldier in the Tissian army, but that he long ago gave up his former life for the peace and solitude of the forest. You learn that he's a master woodsman who has for many long years made a life for himself in the forest hall which he himself built. I dare say it's still better than living behind city walls, he says, his tone somewhat sober but sombre. Make no mistake, Ellison, the forests have become darker places of late. It is not mere chance that sets 2 tunnelers on a man in broad daylight. No, I fear that something larger than chance, something darker. Well, lass, What have you got to say for yourself? It wasn't Seth Drift. He suddenly once and turns to you. What? Bonuses? Genuine as you recount your recent adventures. When you're finished, he seems to look upon your newfound respect that borders on amazement. Well, whoever said that world was rid of adventures, he allowed, slapping his shoulder. Borum again goes silent and smokes his pipe and stares into the fire. When at last you are ready to leave, Borum bids you farewell and warns you to be careful as you traverse woodlands outside the city. There's a dangerous creature prowling beneath the trees these days, and it's best to remember they're not all wield tooth and claw. Borum tells you to visit him in his hall anytime and looks forward to seeing you again. Stand outside his hall in front of the heavy wooden doors and watches you depart. Yep, that's it. So we gotta visit travel. We gotta go to Borum's Forest Hall. Just go in there. Here we are. I wanna be trained as woodsman. Now there's another skill for me to train. We've got to go get our saved experience. Let's do the Dreamstone and see what's happening. Yay! Magical artistry. The baffling dream spontaneously emerges from the dense grey haze, its poignant magnificence really ousting the otherwise tiresome concept that had until now decidedly permeated your mind. Faces, places, and sounds from other distant paths hurtled by in the disturbing parade of surreal splendour that shreds the very essence of your will. Your eyes fly open and you sit bolt upright, thankful to be free of sleep's tenebrous thrall, while on the same breath desirous to return to the vision you abandoned upon waking. Magical artistry. Sure. So wait. Okay, I'll remember painful hopes. Sure. I should have kept the first dream, huh? Cool. And then this will give me a bonus tomorrow. So let's exit. We're gonna go to skills, and we're gonna go to woodsmanship and train it up. This is still leaking. Got distracted, sorry. Holy shit. going to keep going. Okay. Yes, 86 is good. Something's touching me. Okay, let's go back. Alright, let's save. So now what we want to do is travel to I want to travel to the monastery. Lula Monastery, which is in Sryth. So back to Sryth, explore the city, go to the northern part to the monastery. Perched up a tall forested hill at the far east-north end of Sryth, inside the city walls, sits the imposing monastery of Lula. The mammoth building of dark grey stone is the oldest structure in the city, built many centuries ago by a missionary of Sryth named Sryth Lila. Since the time of Lila, the monastery has been home to the Order of Hammersign, an astutely devout brotherhood of monks who has dedicated themselves to a peaceful, pious existence away from the affairs of the outside world. A tall iron fence surrounds the entirety of the hill on which Lila Monastery sits, keeping the property secure from increasingly seedy cityscape. Two monks are garbed in the plain robes common to the Order of Hammersign stand guard at the gate. Each monk has a warhammer slung from his belt, and as you approach the gate, they smile and greet you courteously. Do you seek to journey up to Lilac this day? As from the monks, pointing out the winding dirt road behind the gate that winds around the forested hillside. Before you enter, the monks have thrown open the gate, stepping back allow you passage. Sure. The main hall of Lilac Monastery is an impressive as its imposing exterior. Tall stone columns rise to meet massive wooden arches that support a ceiling that peaks far up overhead. A small group of monks garbed in plain green robes of the Order of Hammersign are moving about, entering and leaving various chambers of the main hall. A broad tapestry depicting two crossing hammers of the symbol of Sryth hangs on the center of the hall, and a group of children led by an elderly monk pass by. You pay little heed until the children begin shrieking in fear. You spin around the hall fire to see four large hilberberries scuttling the hall towards them, their pincers ravenously stabbing in the air. Rush to the defense of the children, of course. Quick combat. You step back from the remains of the dead beetles, turn around and see the children staring up at you. An elderly monk who is leaving them smiles graciously, thanks you. There's a plague upon this place, he says sadly. I fear that unless other brothers' missions no succeeds, we shall be overrun by this pestilence. What about it? Monk tells you that he can say nothing further about the matter. If you wish to speak with the master of our order, Brother Adric is our master, and you may find him in that chamber at the far end of the hall. May the All Father watch over you, friend. Yep, let's go. Brother Adric is much younger than you expected. As the monk rises from behind the clatter table in which he is sitting, you sense that you are in the presence of a skilled warrior. You introduce yourself to the master of the Order of Hammersign and bow courteously. When you inquire about the troubles plaguing the monastery, he ushers you inside the chamber and closes the door. He looks you over carefully and then in a very low voice tells you of recent events at Lilac. Perhaps you can help us, he said wearily. There is a pestilence that has come upon us, and I fear that it is not of this world. Brother Adric explains that for the past several weeks, strange creatures have been sighted in the monastery and have attacked several monks. One monk was recently found dead in one of the lower hallways. His body was covered with vicious wounds that were identified as bite marks. First it was rats. There was of the common variety, he said gravely. Then there were tarn rats, and the snakes, and now these insidious beetles. This is a plague not of this world, and though I do not wish to alarm the brothers or attract any outside attention, I fear this problem is starting to spiral out of control and may soon consume us. Brother Adric tells you that Lilac Monastery is built over the ruins of an ancient sorcerer's tower. The monastery's builders were unaware that a shadow path lay hidden in a series of secret subterranean levels below the tower ruins. Oh, what's a shadow path? A dimensional rift between the world of Sryth and the Neverness that manifests itself in the form of swirling black or grey vortex. During the age of Aruludin, Yes, that's it. Araludin, there existed many magical gateways between the world of Sryth and the shadowy nether realm, the Neverness. These gateways came to be known as Shadow Paths, for there were portals in the darkest, most nightmarish regions of the Neverness. The Neverness. Magic in the world of Sith comes from the form of neveral energy, a raw and unpredictable force of great power that seeps into the realm of man from a place called the Neverness. The Neverness is a dark, shadow-filled, surreal realm existing in another plane of existence from Sryth, another dimension entirely. It is from this mysterious and boundless dimension of eternal magic that the magic flows. Its power, interweaving into the fabric of the world of Sryth, drives its destiny and at the same time poisoning its soul. There's tales of mages who have opened gates between the world of Sryth and Neverness, but such endeavours have often ended in great folly. Passing between the two worlds is forbidden almost universally by governments and mages alike. However, the temptation for spellcasters to visit and perhaps learn more about the source of their power is often too much to resist. Mages have returned from the Neverness and brought it to be a realm of infinite shadow, fire, and lands of nightmares, ruled by demon kings and wicked gods. Others have said they have found it to have been a realm governed by strange but ultimately benevolent reality. The Shadow Paths were only small remnants of much larger rifts between Sryth and Neverness that existed during the Age of Storm. During the Age of Araludin, the people and nations of Sryth waged a nearly endless battle against the evil creatures of shadow that use these portals and points of invasion from the dark Neveral realms. Curid, a powerful Alvari spellcaster, was the first to discover the potent magic that could seal off these Neveral gateways. As a member of the Grey Circle, he taught his powerful magic to many of the Brotherhood of Mages. Thus, these efforts of the mages of the Grey Circle, nearly all the Shadow Paths were plagued Sryth, have been sealed. So let's find about the Age of Storms. Preceded the Age of Araludin and lasted over 10,000 years. Sryth's two races of men, the Alvari and the Warren-Than, arrived in northern Sith. Sryth toward the middle of this age. This dark and brutal age in Sryth's history was characterized by violent storms of magic energy that raged over the whole of the world for years at a scratch. More lore masters believe that the storms were caused by open rifts between the world of Sryth and the realm of Neverness. The Age of Araludin is the name given to the first of Sryth's three great ages. The age represents the height of the Alvari people. The Age of Araludin began when Seer led the Alvari over the Sundran Sea and into Sryth to escape the destruction of Thiloer. During the Age of Alvari, thus harnessed the wit and wielded magic, laid the foundation for all that would follow. Great Ages. Oh, it's not available. Okay. So we learn about the Neverness and the Shadow Paths. You learn that once the Shadow Path is discovered, it is sealed by way of a Shadow Gate. The Shadow Gate has lain undisturbed in the secret subterranean levels below the monastery for many hundreds of years, known only as the Master of the Order of Hammersign. A week ago, we discovered the hidden door in the cellars which lead down to the secret levels, and recently been opened from the inside, said Brother Adric. Never before since the time of the monastery's builders has any man gone down into the ruined levels, but I had no choice. I sent forth the greatest warrior of our order and two others to find and lock the Shadow Gate. They have not returned. There was long silence, which was last broken by a deep sigh from Brother Adric. Alas, he says, for I fear that this treachery might have come from within the Brotherhood itself. Who else but one among us would have been able to learn that a Shadow Gate lay locked in the secret levels not known to anyone but me? Were I not required here to protect the others, I would go and seek out the lost brothers myself. You sense that Brother Adric wishes to ask you something, but he is hesitant to do so. Would you like me to go search for your missing friends? Brother Adric is visibly taken back by your courageous offer. He quickly regains his composure and grasps you firmly by both shoulders. So be it, Ellison, he said, smiling warmly. The All-Father has indeed heard my prayers. I asked him for guidance, and he has sent me a hero. Brother Adric wastes little time. He promptly leads you from the chamber out to the main hall and down a series of spiraling steps. You quickly lose track of which way you've gone, and just as you're beginning to wonder where you're headed, the monk suddenly stops and looks in both directions to make certain the hall is empty. Then he gently presses on several sections of the wall and a rather complex sequence. Slowly, and with barely a sound, a large section of the wall slides inward, revealing a small, torchlit chamber. He quickly ushers you inside, and the wall slides back in place behind you. There is the door that leads to the lower levels, he said grimly. The large, rusty iron door set in the far wall looks ancient and extremely heavy. A small table in the corner of the room bears a collection of items. Brother Adric tells you to look over the items and take whatever you need. Oh, let's take a look. I have a lantern. I'm good. Okay, give me the shield. Continue. Brother Adric's past the heavy wooden door. Can I hold the shield with what I have on? Where is it? Oh no, I picked it up. Apparently not. Just two-handed. Beyond this door, you'll find a set of steps that lead down the first level of the tower ruins, he said. What you will find therein I cannot say. Brother Kroll, our Order's greatest warrior, went down those steps a week ago, with Brother Holith and Brother Turo. What end they have met, I cannot say. I only can warn you to be extra cautious once you pass through that door. If the shadow gate is indeed been unlocked, there is no telling what horrors that may lurk down there in the dark. You will need to find Brother Cole and the others. He said Brother Cole carries with him a gemstone imbued with magic necessary to lock the shadow gate. The shadow gate is located in the lowest of 3 levels below here. If the shadow gate is not locked, I fear that its pestilence or worse will consume our monastery and our city. Brother Adric exchanged a shoulder across you and smiled. You are brave, Allison, he said, yet know you do not go alone, for the All-Father is always with us. Good luck. I will be waiting your return. Okay. With your reliable light source at the ready, you prepare to begin your quest to find the lost monks in the temple. It says it's bow, but I guess it's automatically, but nobody asked me if I wanted to use archery. Alright. Your brother Adric swings open the heavy iron door and you step through it into an inky blackness. You're standing on top of a stone step that leads up to the heavy iron door. You know that the other side of the door, Brother Adric is eagerly waiting your return. You may save the rest if you wish. If at any time you wish to abandon your quest, you may do so by opening up and leaving the lower levels. Alright, we're here. So, let's do it. You're standing at the set of tall stone steps leading to the large iron doors. Your trusty light source cuts through the inky blackness around you and a cool draft of air swirls by. Sending an involuntary shiver link through your body. 3 grim passages lead off from the base of the stairs. Well, I don't know how long this quest is going to take. The reason I'm doing it is to get weaponry skill, which is necessary as I use weapons. So I'm going to end this episode here, and we're going to restart the next episode to do this quest and continue on, and hopefully we'll start getting more skills and powers quicker. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it would. So until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you so much for joining me, and peace.